An historical title chase in an historical city. History beckons for either the Stockholm Hearts or the Berlin Eagles as the two championship contenders go head-to-head once more with just 3 stages left in the Global Champions League. But it's not just about the championship race. There are 18 points separating 4th and 10th as we keep a close eye on the GCL Super Cup semi-final spots as we get closer to Prague. This weekend will help define where we stand as we continue down this incredible journey in 2022. Let's head to Rome for stage 13 of the Global Champions League. All year long in the Global Champions League, we talk about these famous settings, these beautiful, iconic venues that host legs of the Global Champions League, and to take nothing away from the rest of the year. There is just something that tells me that this Circa Massima in Rome just stands out as one of the best to look forward to. Thank you for joining us on GCTV as we get ready for stage 13 of the Global Champions League. So much to be decided this weekend, so much to jump for between the championship teams, the GCL Super Cup semi-final teams that are trying to get in, and for those teams that are trying to make up crucial championship points and move themselves further up the table. It all can work out by the end of this weekend, and we find out and get ready for Global Champions League round 1. Now, before we get into Roma, let's find out and remind you as to what took place in Falkensvart this past weekend. It certainly was a weekend to remember for the Berlin Eagles, powered by Fundis Reisport. Ludger Beerbaum and Miller once again delivering the goods, a double clear for them as the team appreciating it. Philip Weishaupt soon followed and made sure that he then did exactly the same, following suit from Ludger Beerbaum with a double clear for the Berlin Eagles, a double clear that would prove to be good enough to see them win the overall leg in Falkensvart and pick up maximum championship points. And a great weekend it was for them. Speaking of a good weekend, what a performance from Shane Breen and Nina Malavey for Rome Gladiators. A double clear for them as well. That was incredibly well appreciated by Eric Lamaze in particular in the Kiss and Cry, the team manager of the Rome Gladiators there, loving every single second, living every single second of it. The Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, came to Falkensvart with a goal in hand, and a double clear in round 2 from Marlon Bide Johnson and from Lily Atwood kept them in the hunt, but I could not deny the championship points going the way of the Berlin Eagles. And a tough break though for them as they had to settle for 2nd place and see their championship lead dwindle down to just 2 points. Speaking of tough performances, well, for Niall Nasser and the Paris Panthers, I'm afraid his 4 penalties meant that they then fell all the way down to 5th place. Ben Mayer and Rob Hoekstrom standing by, watching, agonizing over the fault. And you could see the applause for Philip Weishaupt, what it meant for him. And remind you, just 2 points separating our top 2 championship contenders. We thought that the 2021 season between Falkensvart United and the Shanghai Swans was going to be a once-off only, but 2022 is proving to be much the same. Shanghai Swans and Prague Lions in 3 and 4. And then, as we mentioned, how incredibly tight it is from the Prague Lions all the way down to the Rome Gladiators, to the Hamburg Giants, and continuing then into 10th place as well for Madrid Emotion and the London Knights. Saint-Tropez Pirates moving up, and the Istanbul Sultans finally moving off the bottom of the table as they now trade places with the Scandinavian Vikings. Some of the standout horses to look out for this weekend of Argan de Bellier from Keenan, Lily Keenan that is, H&M, Christian K and Peter Fredriksson, Mumbai, Christian Kukuc's horse. And let's not forget perhaps the most notable, and that is of Miller, who will be ridden by Ludger Beerbaum later on this afternoon for the Berlin Eagles. Difficult to believe and remind that they are still just 10 years of age, Miller and Ludger Beerbaum, that pairing. but how well they are growing. Take a look at the setting. Take a look at the setup that we were talking about here in the Cirche Massima in Rome. What an outstanding venue. And we have been told, by the way, that the weather has been exceptionally warm in Rome. So the riders, the horses, they will be tested this weekend when it comes to their fitness, to their stamina. How will they be able to contend with the very warm conditions? Which of these teams will be the best prepared for those testing conditions? Now, I have no doubt that you would have watched the Insider this past week of Valkenswaard, where we announced that Frederik de Backer would not be joining us in Rome, and we're incredibly sad that that is the case. But we do have the lovely Mariska Keper in Rome for us, who is keeping a very close eye on what is taking place in the build-up to today's Global Champions League Round 1. Mariska, are we going to have new leaders at the end of the weekend? And talk to us about how crucial Rome is going to be for the rest of the championship.
Well, Mark, I think we both agree that this is going to be a very important weekend, not only for the championship, but also for the teams who are battling for top 4. If you look at the championship, Stockholm Hearts is here with Peder Fredriksson. He's returning this weekend in Rome. He is going to compete in GCL Round 1 together with Lily Keenan and not with Marlin Bayer-Johnson. If we look at Berlin Eagles, they have here Ludger Beerbaum and Christian Kukuk, Mila and Mumbai. Let's be clear, both need to be perfect and both are well willing to have a spot on the podium, but there is no room for error.
There is absolutely no room for error, Mariska. You are spot on. A look at some of our riders, Christian Kukuk, Daniel Deusser, all preparing and putting in the final touches ahead of Global Champions League Round 1 today. As we saw, Daniel Deusser making his way around and getting ready for today. Niels Bruynseels as well, making the most of the warm-up and getting ready for today's action. Now, time for us to go back into Rome and catch up with the team manager of the Hamburg Giants. Munaim Dani joins us live on the show. Munaim Dani, thank you very much for your time today. We are very, very happy to have you on the show. The team has faced a lot of challenges this season, let's be honest. Is it disappointing for you, especially after the wonderful start to the season?
Mark, thank you very much for having me. It's been a roller coaster, complete season for us. We had high ambitions. We started well in Doha, did a good show in Mexico where we won. It was looking very positive, and then we had some bad news. We lost a team member due to some issues, and it's been devastating for the team as manager. Yeah, and looking forward, it's been hard. It's been very hard.
If you take a look at the table, Munaim, I mean, 16 points outside the top 4. And yes, one can look at that glass half full or glass half empty. But realistically, are 16 points, is that gettable? Is that still a realistic goal for the team? Are you chasing top 4, or is that perhaps a little bit out of your reach, considering the circumstances?
I think it's possible. I think we still have some good team members left over to compete. Kevin Jochem stepped in for Bart Bless. Getting to know the horses. Jur is on a good flow. We have Simon de Lestre, who is in the top 20 of the world. We have Linda Heed here as well, who is very ambitious and always team orientated. So those 16 points we have to get. We want to get in those top 4.
Talk to us about Kevin Jochems. We saw him competing last weekend. How is he settled in? He hasn't had much time. He has to hit the ground running. How is he taken to the team? How has he been doing thus far?
Kevin is a great guy. He's young, he's ambitious, he's very quiet, hard worker. But of course, it's not a motorcycle. You don't step on, adjust the seat forward, backward, and get to business. It's a different type of riding. Have to get the horses to know him and him the horses. So the fine-tuning is not there yet, but we're very ambitious. I put him in the team today, together with Jur Freeling, because I believe that with Chris Kras he has a good option to do clear, and it's very simple. We need clear rounds to make that top 4.
And do you feel there's a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Jur Freeling? No doubt he's now seen as the senior man in the team. Is he feeling that pressure? Is he taking on that role very well?
Luckily, Jur is not 20 years old anymore, and he's done so many things for the Dutch team as well, and he can take the pressure on his shoulders. He is a man who you can send in with a job and carry that pressure on him.
All right, well, best of luck for today. We look forward to seeing if and when you can make up those 16 points, and we will see you throughout the rest of the year. Thank you.
I hope so.
We go, Munaim Dani, the team manager of the Hamburg Giants, still very positive and confident that those 16 points that are seeing them outside of the top 4 will still be able to be chased down. It is still gettable. They will be the 10th team out the gate today. New man returning, Kevin Jochims, as you mentioned, will be jumping alongside Jur Freeling today. So can the Hamburg Giants try and rediscover, find some of that early season form that we saw? It will be a big ask for them, but maybe they can indeed turn things around. Now, grooms play an incredibly important role in the success of the riders and the horses that we get to see every single week here on GCTV. Now, so rarely are the grooms put front and center that we decided to try and make that happen this weekend. We'd like to introduce you, of course, now to Lena Anderson, I beg your pardon, the groom for Marlon Bayard Jonsson.
Hey. Hello. I'm Lena. I'm the groom of Malin Bayard. I have been working for her for 5 years. It is early mornings and late nights, and but you only have 2 horses, so it's not so much work. It's easy work.
And what do you like the most about your job?
Traveling around with the horses. I can see the world, and I can also be with the horses that I like to do most. I arrived yesterday lunchtime because I like to give the horses a lot of time to recover after traveling. So then I launched them easy, and then Malin arrived normally before the warm-up. To work with Malin, it's very easy. We have been together for a long time, so we know each other, and so it makes the life a bit easier.
So how is she as a person?
She's easy. She don't say so much, and she let me do my work.
Oh, she's so important. She's my horse's best friend. She's the one that makes sure that they have the best possible life, that they're feeling great, and you know, she knows them so well from the ground. She travels the world with them, and yeah, I couldn't do without her.
Oh. We have Indiana, the queen of the stable. I don't think I need to say anything more. I think Malin and Indiana is a good combination because they have been together for such a long time, and they know each other very well. Indiana is very sensitive, and she's not too easy, so you need to learn how to handle all her power. She has always been good in Rome, so I don't know, maybe the heat. And then we had this little gelding, Harley Davidson, and he's a brilliant horse. He's so funny. He's very friendly. He's a bit, he's not the bravest one in the world, but he always tries. His mother died when he was 6 weeks, so he had a tough start in his life. And he always gets new friends wherever he goes because he's so nice. Yeah. I think Malin is going to ride him the first round this week, and it will be his first time in the team. Yeah, this is some moments I want to remember. And this is last year in Rome when she won. This is from Tokyo after the medal, I think. And this one just makes me happy because she looks like she does. Indiana again. This is a horse who is not still with us anymore. He left, but he's very cute.
Never underestimate the incredibly crucial role that the grooms like Lena Anderson perform for these top-class riders. Speaking of which, there we see Malin Bayard Jonsson in somewhat of a surprise today. She will not be jumping for the Stockholm Hearts. Instead, Lily Keenan and Peter Fredriksson will be jumping for the championship leaders. We'll try and catch up with Malin a little bit later on today to just try and get some thoughts around perhaps that team decision as to how and why she does not find herself in Global Champions League round 1. Many would put some money on the fact that she will then jump round 2 in Rome. Now, speaking of the grooms, what about the man that decides how and where these riders riders will be able to move and jump inside the ring. Again, I think back to this past weekend on The Insider when we praised Uliana Vizzani and the magical work that he did in Valkenswaard. Well, he stays with the Global Champions League for round 13. And in fact, he travels back to Rome, which, as you can imagine, for the magical magician, the course designer Uliana Vizzani, it is a really, really special moment for him to come back to Rome, to be back in Italy, and to once again be designing for the Global Champions League.
This is a special weekend for me because it's Italy, it's Rome, the fantastic venue, and I think it's good for the sport.
So what can we expect from you for GCL round 1 and GCL round 2?
Okay, round 1 for me is very important because I check the horses and the rider. And the second normally is different because is qualified for the Grand Prix again. And it's very important, and for me it's important, fair for the horses.
But what's the plan for GCL round 1? In what way are you going to challenge the riders?
For tomorrow, my track is 13 fences with 3 doubles. And this is good for the next day, for the second day, because in the second day I put 12 fences and 1 triple. And it's good preparation for the league and for the Grand Prix again.
So when are you satisfied after GCL round 1?
Yes, I think I love my job and I love the horses and the rider after. And when the horses jump well, for me it's the maximum. This is important for me. To clear more is not problem. And I think is very important before the show, the horses live with the smile. This is important, very important.
Always has a smile on his face. Uliana Vizzani, the course designer, giving us some insight as to what perhaps we can expect today and going into round 2 of the Global Champions League. And of course, let's not forget the LGCT Grand Prix of Rome that will follow later on. Now, speaking of the Stockholm Hearts, as we did a little bit earlier on today, Malin Baard-Jonsson joined us live on the show. Malin, thank you so much for joining us. You were involved in a tense title chase last year. You seem to be involved in one again. You seem to attract these tense moments, don't you?
Very much, yes. No, it's a very exciting year. You know, we're still in the lead, but it's super, super tight. So, yeah.
You are certainly making it exciting for the fan, that is for sure. Some might be surprised to not see you in the starting lineup today. Can you talk to us about the team decision to rest you for round 1?
Yeah, I didn't really want to jump Indiana today. She jumped a small class, and then I'm taking her tomorrow in the second round. So the best option today was Lilian Peter, and it's not a bad one.
It's not a bad one at all. We'll talk about Peter coming back in a few moments. Can you talk to us about the team conversation? Some points have obviously been dropped over the last 2 weeks. What has the conversation been amongst the team? Where is the mind at coming into Rome?
Well, the mind is at, you know, just trying to do our best at every single round we do now. You know, it's hard and it's tough. It's a long season. We're getting to the very end, but we're really trying to keep it together now and you know, to have the best team every day.
Now, you mentioned Peter Fredriksson, who comes in with Lily Keenan today. How nice it is to have him back for your team. Have you caught up with him? What is the conversation, the game plan, the approach for the weekend from him?
Well, he knows his job. He's done it before, and I'm sure he can do it today again. So no, he's excited to be back on the circuit. He's riding Christian, and it's the first round Christian does for the team this season. No, I think it looks good.
3 stages to go. Is the team confident that you can see off the Berlin Eagles, hold on to that championship lead? Is this title yours?
Well, we're trying to be as confident as possible. You know, they're chasing up on us and they look extremely strong with the 2 wins at the recent 2 shows. So, you know, we try to keep it together and we're going to do our best to stay in the lead all the way.
Well, best of luck throughout the rest of the weekend. We look forward to seeing you get involved later on. Malin Baard Janssens, thank you very much for your time. Stockholm Hearts powered by H&M. As she says, they are remaining incredibly confident, and they are confident that they can indeed hold on to this championship lead. How good it is to see this man come back into Global Champions League. It is going to be a big weekend for the Stockholm Hearts, a big weekend for Peter Fredriksson. What kind of a say is this man going to have on the weekend? What kind of impact is he going to have on the weekend? As we said, H&M Christian K is who he'll be jumping this afternoon. And I wonder if he will be jumping both rounds. Malin Baard Janssens suggesting that she might well indeed come in for round 2 of the Global Champions League. So, interesting times and decisions for the Stockholm Hearts, knowing that the Berlin Eagles, powered by Fundis Sport, have an incredibly strong team. They are in good form and have great momentum. This championship battle may well go right down to the wire. Something that Fredrik de Backer did mention to us, that this could well be decided only by the time that we get to Riyadh. Now, speaking of the home team, Beth Underhill caught up with us in the latest episode of Team Talk. Again, nice to see her in the starting lineup this weekend. Let's catch up with the Rome Gladiators rider.
Our expectations are high, and they always are. We have higher expectations of ourselves and our team, as does Eric. So we don't want to let him down, and we don't want to let each other down. So we are committed and determined to be the very best we can be, and we're expecting and hoping for a podium finish again this weekend.
It's your first appearance on the team. Does it give any extra pressure?
It always does when there's a team event, whether you're riding for your country or whether you're riding for a global team such as the Roman Gladiators. It's a heightened pressure because we're riding not just for ourselves but for our team. So definitely there's more pressure, there's more expectation. But I find as a rider that normally makes me be better. I'm able to have that heightened awareness, but step in the ring and be able to center myself, clear my mind, and give my very best. And I think it makes us rise to the occasion. So to me, that pressure is something that I welcome.
What do you think? Is it possible to step in the top 4 for Rome Gladiators?
I mean, it's always possible. We're a little bit coming from behind, but that's not a place that we're unfamiliar with. So we will continue to keep doing our best and strive to be better each time and hope that we can crack that top 4.
Are there 2 back-to-back podiums coming up for the Rome Gladiators? Beth Underhill and Nina Malavey will be jumping for the home team this weekend. They would put in a really, really strong performance to make it back-to-back podiums. The competition gets underway with New York Empire, powered by Lugano Diamonds. Dennis Lynch and Jody Hall McAteer will be the first 2 riders out the gate as we get ready to get Global Champions League Stage 13 underway. So stay with us here on GCTV. A lot of the action coming away in a few moments' time from the beautiful, the iconic, the wonderful Circa Massimo here on GCTV. Global Champions League Round 1 is next.